If you have an interest in horses and love learning more about horses, the horse industry, teaching, or even managing your own horse business, then you're in the right place. We would love you to join us on our mission, which is to improve the lives of horses around the world through the education of riders, handlers, and trainers. So get comfortable, listen in, and enjoy.
Today's guest on Horse Chats is Adam Sutton. So Adam's been with us before. If you want to find out a bit more about Adam, go and listen. Just put this on hold and go and listen to episode number 600, where we talked to Adam. We talked to him quite a bit about his being at Equitana, I think previous Equitana, and also a little bit about his movie career. I don't know quite what he's doing about that yet. But anyway, I just want to tell you that he is an all-round horse person. He's going to be speaking at Equitana on Saturday about connection, partnership and mindset, and he's going to talk about foal handling. And then on Sunday, he's going to be talking about advancing your training, early foundations of developing body control from ground to saddle. And he's also mentoring in the way of the horse. But before we get started with Adam, just like to remind you that the podcast is brought to you by International Horse College, and the mission of International Horse College is to improve the welfare of horses around the world through the safe education of riders, handlers and trainers. Have a look at the wide variety of horse courses incorporating horse welfare and safety around horses at internationalhorsecollege.com, registered training organisation 31352. Adam, welcome to Horse Chats.
Thank you for having me.
So, Adam, you look fairly relaxed there. You're in one of the yards. You're laying down on the grass, you said?
Yes, laying down on the grass, trying to avoid the bindies. Got a nice little pony that I've got in work behind me, and that's a little bit my lunch break. So, yeah, it's going all right.
Okay, the horse behind you looks a bit interested, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Now, Adam, we start off, and I know that people have, already been introduced to you, but tell us a bit about your favourite quote, or one of them.
One of my favourite quotes is, "Life's a ride. If it bucks you off, get back on." Because it was probably 3 or 4 years ago, I lost all my confidence inside myself and lost my confidence in my horsemanship. I didn't want to get back on a horse. I was done with it after being hurt numerous times and accidents, and it took me a long time to slowly get back to getting the confidence to even do my job again. And it's quite a humbling experience coming from someone who used to ride rodeo and do stunt work, and didn't matter if we got paid to fall off horses, and then being able to lose all that confidence and courage even to ride again. And that's where I started to, I suppose, see horses and training a little bit differently, and myself differently, to be able to allow myself to become vulnerable to being frightened like that. And I started to understand other people's lack of confidence, or where they'd lost their confidence, and just understood that process a little bit differently. So when I say life's a ride, if it bucks you off, get back on. It is a ride and it is a journey. I never thought I'd get to the stage where I was not confident to ever sit back on a horse again, but I'm so glad I did.
Sometimes you've got to go through a bit of an experience to develop the empathy that other people are feeling.
Yes, 100%. I never really understood it properly until it happened to me. I suppose you've got to go through something first before you really understand it.
Mm-hmm. Adam, the last time I talked to you was about 2019, and you'd just broken some ribs. Was that part of the injuries that you're sort of getting over?
Yeah, I suppose it's what happened was I had quite a few over a period of time, and then there was just that one straw that broke the camel's back, where I was like, I don't want this to happen anymore. I'm done with getting hurt. And it was part of that process that got me to the stage of losing my confidence. But then I had to come back and reassess how each incident happened and how I didn't want that to happen again. And that's where I started to understand horses a little bit better and prevent something. I says prevention's better than cure, eh?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about, you've got a better understanding now about the riders, but has it changed, and how has it changed your horsemanship skills?
I suppose you make this little transformation over a period of time from cowboy to horseman, and you just start to see the loopholes that haven't been tied up properly or done correctly, and just understanding yourself better emotionally and seeing horses emotionally rather than physically.
Now, this 8-step training method that you use now and you've developed yourself, has that come on more so? Have you sort of cemented that more solidly in the last couple of years?
Yeah, 100%. Like, I really work on the first step that I go through is, having a, cool, calm, supple, relaxed mind with your horse and having your horse connected with you mentally. So it's just not a physical thing to do. Like making sure that you see the horse sees you, and you're reflecting each other's energy together.
Are you going to be able to just go through those steps with us? And I know you're presenting at Equitana and you're going to go through those. So maybe just the first couple, and then if people would like to know more, they can go and watch you at Equitana.
Yeah, so my first step is exercise 1. So I like to have the horse connected to my shoulder. It's a bit like starting horse under liberty to start with. So I try to lose control of having to hold on to him. I want the horse at my shoulder on both sides. When I walk, he walks. When I trot, he trots. If I stop, he stops. He will walk, trot, and canter beside me. I can move his front end and back end just from my body language and my energy, basically. So I'm not having to push or put any physical contact on the horse. So he's sort of reflecting where I'm at and what I'm doing.
And how long, if you get a horse, you just get a young horse in, and I don't know if you take them completely unhandled, but how long does it normally take to get that stage where you feel really connected with your horse and you're ready to move on to the next step?
Well, how long's a piece of string? So the old saying is, look, sometimes it can take you 10 minutes, sometimes it can take you 10 hours, sometimes it can take you 10 years. It just all depends on the horse you've got and where he's been at through his life already. Like maybe the trauma he might have been through or hasn't been through, getting that connection and trust takes as long as it takes.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's something that you're saying about these 8 steps, make sure that you get each step 100% before you move on to the next one.
Yeah, because if you haven't got step 1 done right, and if step 1's like 60% right, you think, yep, this is going really good, I'm going to go to step 2. Then step 2 is going to be 40% right, and that's sort of going, okay, well, I'm going to go to step 3, and then that's going to be 30% right. And then what happens is you start to focus on the bit that's not working.
Yep.
But then you got to go back to the bit that is working and make it a little bit better, and just working on that little 2% changes every day. It's easy to I want to know what the 7th step is, but I think getting to that first part where the step 1 is solid, you couldn't get it any better, and then step 2 just works.
Yeah. All right. I know that you're going to talk more about that at Equitana. Tell us, what have you done in the last 5 years? Just thinking about the last time we talked was 2019, and you talked about how you stopped riding and then you started again. How long have you been back riding now? You've written a book. Has that been since you lost your confidence and then started again?
No, that was before then. That was back in 2010, I think. Did the book, and then I was doing a whole bunch of thoroughbreds, and I got put under a lot of pressure. I ended up having 3 full-time staff, 3 part-time staff, and had 45 horses in work. And living and working, and we developed an amazing big horse complex, which was awesome. We also, I don't know if people know the racehorse Vow and Declare. We broke him and pre-trained him. He won the Melbourne Cup, and then all of a sudden I had an inundation of doing those. But what happened then is I sort of had no free time living and working on site, and I ended up resenting horses and hating my work because it was 24/7. And now I don't do any racehorses, and I'm not under that pressure anymore. Now I work for myself, and I do one-on-one people and clients. I have 1 staff member, and life is different, because as I said before, that sometimes we're told grow and get bigger and expand, and then sometimes that can be good, and sometimes it can lead you down the wrong path that you don't want to go down. And I went down that path and then ended up resenting, I suppose you might call it, the racing industry a little bit, but I still had the love of horses. But now I don't do big clients for racing industries anymore. I just do my one-on-one with clients now, and it's so much better, and it's so much more rewarding.
It sounds like you're a bit burnt out, but you're enjoying the horses a lot more.
100%. I love them to bits. Without them in my life, I don't know where I'd be. But yeah, when it came to big money and stuff like that with the racing, it chewed me apart a little bit.
Yeah, so if you're enjoying the horses and that's the reason that you got into working with horses, it sounds like you found your passion.
Yes.
Yeah. So are you mentoring at Equity?
Yes.
Tell us a bit about that.
Well, I got given the opportunity, and after doing the Way of the Horse twice myself, and now they've got this mentoring thing where I'm mentoring a girl named Amber Scriver, and so it's been a really cool thing to be able to do, to be able to pass on a little bit of knowledge and be a ringside assistant with her, and being able to share your knowledge and your experience, giving it over to somebody else. And she is so passionate and so energetic about stuff, and it really gives you a bit of, myself, a bit of new release passion in what you do, in going into the Way of the Horse. And this year there's been a couple of rule changes as well, which I think is really important, where we're now allowed to have somebody inside the round yard helping the horses move forward if the horse isn't able to itself. And I think that's been a really good rule change. It started in the Road to the Horse, where that was allowed, and now they've implemented here in Australia.
Moving on from there, just tell me a bit about Amber. How did you get started with her? Like, how did you meet her? And, just any key things
Well, she got thrown in my lap, let's say, so to speak. She's already a world champion in what she does. She does extreme cowboy racing. So she's very successful in what she's already done, but she hasn't done a whole lot of colt starting. So Equitana teed me up with her, and she's come and worked with me for 10 days a couple of months ago, and then another 10 days just recently out at Lithgow when we did a breaking in clinic. And so I didn't really know her before this, so it's been a press fast forward, and let's get to know each other, and let's get to working on what we're going to do.
So, Adam, you do some horsemanship and ridery. You do the colt training, okay? So tell us a bit more about the colt starting clinics. Not so much what you do yourself, but the clinics. If people are interested in joining you in a clinic, where do you have them? How long do they go for? How can they get started? I presume it'd be on your website, a bit of this information. But tell us a bit more about what you do with the horses, what you do with the people.
Yeah, well, we do a variety of different clinics. One of the ones we do is a confidence clinic. I never thought I'd be running confidence clinics until I'd lost mine. We do a beach clinic as well. We do a trail clinic. We do an obstacle clinic. We do a 4-day mindset clinic with Tanya Mitten, and we get a Pilates instructor in as well. I do all the groundwork with the horses and the ridden stuff, and then Tanya does her mindset stuff, and that's probably one of my biggest clinics. We do 3 or 4 of them a year. Mainly we do them on the Central Coast, but I just finished doing 6 weeks on the road. I did clinics in Tasmania, one in Margaret River, and then one out at Lithgow. The one at Lithgow was a colt starting clinic, but it's not just that. People come in with all different varieties of different things that I do, and I sort of trying to steer out of a little bit of the whole starting horses bit, because now I'm 50. My God, didn't know how I ever got here, but I still do it. But I take it really slow these days. I don't. When I say slow, I'm not a Yahoo anymore. I don't just get on and go for a ride. But yeah, I enjoy all different aspects of the different clinics that I do. The obstacle ones are really fun. We've got a really good obstacle course across the road here that I go and use, and they've got some incredible obstacles. And just being able to build the confidence in the person and the horse to be able to go and, when the horse goes, no, I can't do this, or the person says to me, no, I'm not doing that, to be able to turn around and in 2 days' time going, oh my God, I'm now doing something that I said I couldn't do. I really enjoy that part of the training where the horse and the person can then start to I call it the can do and the can't do box. They go, oh no, I can't do this, or I shouldn't do that, and that's a bit dangerous, where they can go, you know what, I can actually do this now. So yeah, the clinics are very varied, but I enjoy doing all types.
And I think you've got one coming up in December with Tanya again, haven't you?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, the December one is a fun one because it's a Christmas one. We all dress up and do silly things, and yeah, we generally have about 14 people at them, and they book out pretty quickly. I think between Tanya and I, we've got a really good dynamic together. She delivers what she delivers, and I deliver what I do. And then, as I said, we then have a Pilates and yoga coach come in, and all the people that come then start to do all their rider position and stretching and yoga and mindset and meditation, and it's a holistic camp, really. It's really good.
And just for our listeners, if you're interested in finding out a bit more about Tanya, just go to horsechats.com, search for Tanya, it's Tanja, or Mitten, Mitton, and you'll find a couple of chats that we've done as well. And where is that one in December?
It's down in Somersby on the Central Coast.
Okay. What's the clinic you're doing then in Tasmania, a 10-day clinic in Tasmania coming up?
It's a mixed bag. There's some horses being started, some people having just lessons, and some problem horses coming in. And it's a whole variety of everything. It's not actually a clinic where 10 people come for 2 days. It's people bring their one horse in and have sessions over the 10 days I'm there, but all different variety of issues that people are having, either with it be within themselves or with their horse.
Okay, now your book, you said that you wrote it before we chatted last time. I'm not quite sure we talked about it, and it's available on your website, isn't it?
Yeah, the book's called Say It Out Loud. It's just basically an autobiography, really, of myself.
Okay, and I think that's interesting. People are interested in getting started in the horse industry just to find out a bit about Adam and how he got started within the horse industry.
Yeah, true. We've all got to get started somewhere. And I remember being told when I was a kid, like, horses won't make you money. And I'm like, I'm not worried about money. I'm still not worried about money. I just get up every day and just do what I love to do. And I was just lucky enough that Random House wanted to publish a story about me.
Yes, I got told the same thing. Don't work with horses, don't work in the horse industry. There's no money. And I'm actually presenting at Equitana about making money with horses. So I think something that, a lot of people say you can't, but, sometimes there's a little bit more that working with horses gives, to do with the lifestyle and, getting that balance right.
Yeah.
Okay, what's a training tip? I'm sure you go out and, you've already said you do lots of clinics. And let's start with horse handling. What's a training tip that you'd give to people about improving their horse handling skills? Something they can check, something that they can take away from listening to this podcast and say, I'm just going to check that, with my own horse, or, they might have had a bit of a problem, or let's get started with that.
Good question. I think if you think it's not working, it's okay. If it's all going really wrong, it's still okay. It's not going to be perfect just because you tried it once. It's like stick to the plan and it will slowly come together. And little 2% changes make a big difference. Yeah, so sometimes we get defeated because I saw this guy or this person do this and it looked amazing and it's not working for me. You got to remember how many years or hours time and experience that person's had to get that horse to do that. And just because you're doing it the same way doesn't mean it's all of a sudden going to work. I mean, the amount of time that I've sat down in my round yard, in my arena, and been in a ball of tears because I've seen somebody do something and it wasn't working for me, and then tried to force it to happen and it just didn't work. And yeah, when it's not working and it's all going pear-shaped and it's upside down, just go, this is cool. It's not working. So when it's all falling apart, it's okay.
Yep. Now, Adam, I'm just going to go through, and I'm going to ask you something about this in a minute. So within the stuff that you do with horses, okay, we say all-round horsemanship. So we've talked a bit about foundation training. We haven't talked much about problem horses. Is there anything for our listeners, or is that what you just talked about? If you've got a problem, what do you do, or what sort of issues do you get, or do you find that people are doing wrong if they have a problem horse? Where would you start with?
I think the main thing is they focus on the problem, and the problem's never the problem, because there's always multiple other things that aren't working outside the problem. If you go to try and work on the problem, you'll make the problem worse. It's like, as I said, I go through this 7-step program, and if I don't have exercise 1 working on, why should I be working on exercise 4?
Do you find yourself being a bit of a counsellor?
Oh, God, I think a horse trainer has multiple hats on at times. I could call myself a part therapist. And it was quite funny, it's probably a couple of months ago, I had a client's husband come up, and he came up and said, I need to meet this person. He's like, I just want to know what you've done to my wife. And I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, she's got this new air about her. She's got this new walk about her. She's got this new persona about her. And I'm like, yeah, because she's now feeling confident in what she's doing, and she's now connecting with her horse better and connecting with herself better and, moving forward and getting confident again. And for him to come and say that, I think meant a lot for him as well. But it meant a lot to me, and sometimes you don't really realise these little lessons that you pass on from your own experience to other people, and that's really rewarding.
All right, so the husband was pretty pleased then, huh? Good.
Yeah, and just seeing people along their journeys start to get, doing, as I said before, like starting to do things that they once said they couldn't. Oh, I'm not riding down there. I'm not riding out of the arena. And next minute, I had another person the other week send me some videos of them riding up and down the beach when she told me there's no way I'm riding out of the arena. And then we took her out on a trail ride. We went here and we floated here and I took her for a ride on the beach. Now she's doing it herself. And I was just like, wow, it just makes me go, yeah, that's what you do. And it makes you feel good. And, they really value you. And I value them. And some clients become good, close personal friends after a while.
Adam, what else? Because we've sort of been on, and I appreciate that your phones have been a bit of a problem, or we've had to stick it in the freezer.
Technology, it doesn't work together.
So for our listeners, we've been joined on a couple of different times because Adam's phone's just gone off, and we've had to put it in the freezer and wait.
It's in the freezer at the moment. I've just got to remember to get it out of the freezer.
Okay. All right. So if people have got questions for Adam, they can speak to him at Equitana, and I think we've already said the times and what the teaching, but also to have a look on the Equitana website and, just confirm where he is and what he's teaching and maybe chat to him afterwards. And also to Adam, they can go to your website. Is it adamsutton.com.au?
That's the one. Or on Facebook as well as All Round Horsemanship.
Okay, and also to just go to horsechats.com and you can search for Adam, search for Sutton, and remember he's already done a chat for us, number 600. Go to that if you want to have a look again, but all the contact details are at the bottom of each page, so just get the latest chat and have a look for those contact details if you'd like to reach out of him, particularly if you're looking at the upcoming schools and clinics. He has those details available. All right. Thank you, Adam. Thank you for chatting to us. We've really enjoyed this chat, and there's been a little bit of a stop and start. So remember to go and get your phone out of the freezer.
Oh, going in out of the freezer right now.
Okay, then. Chat to you soon.
All right, darling. See ya. Bye.
If you've enjoyed this chat, then please comment, rate, and subscribe. If you'd like any changes or recommendations for guests, then please contact us through horsechats.com. And while you're online, have a look at the government-accredited courses at internationalhorsecollege.com. Registered Training Organisation 31352.
Remember that our comments and instructions are general in nature and do not take into consideration your individual horses or your individual ability and circumstances. If you enjoyed this podcast, then please leave your comment below.